welcome. I hope you all enjoyed your 2022 with your families and all the events, even due to the downfall of the economy. I wish you all success in 2023. So for today, we are having two speakers that are going to give us brief career talks on IT and IT security. They are going to drop their information, so after you have questions to ask them, and you can contact them. Our first speaker for tonight is the CEO of Pheasants, Alhaji Aliu. Please, round of applause to welcome Alhaji Aliu to the stage.
Good evening, thank you. First of all, I would like to say that I'm not an allergy, not yet. But it's good to be here. Good evening, everyone. I see we're trying to build a community here. I'm Aliu, CEO and co-founder at Pheasants. Pheasants is a cybersecurity startup offering educational solutions. And I'm also a co-founder at ATINGAUK, which is a non-profit organization that helps students and enthusiasts, people trying to get into cybersecurity, especially people from an African background. And so, let me talk a little bit about my career and how I started. I actually started as a software developer, learning how to program and write code around 2016. And I did a lot of practice, lots of different, very silly projects actually. But what I didn't know at the time was that I was building skills. Like every single nonsense project I did at that time, even though it was like just thrown away, I was actually building skills. And I'll talk more about the skills that you need to get into tech or cybersecurity. After working as a software developer in Nigeria for a couple of years, I decided to come to the UK, and I did a master's in cybersecurity. And during that time, I also did some academic projects, like published research as well. And now I currently, in addition to Pheasants and ATINGAUK, I also work as a cybersecurity engineer. What are the opportunities in IT and cybersecurity? The first thing I would like everyone, I think everyone here already knows, is that technology runs everything, from the way you communicate to people, the way you work, the way you travel. Like tech is in everything, and it's even becoming even more and more connected. Who builds the tech? Software developers. There are people that maintain the tech, provide support, solve problems. And then there are people that work in cybersecurity to protect that technology from cyber attack. And there's so many career paths within technology that there's fields and subfields and subfields. And all these things require different skill sets. So what are the skills necessary to get into tech or cybersecurity? So anybody can work in tech, but not everybody can work in tech. And what I mean by that is that all the information that you need to build these skill sets are available for free online. It just depends on interests, it depends on dedication, it depends on practice. So even though anybody can do it, it's not everybody that can do it. It just depends on if you're interested enough to actually dedicate time and effort. And there are lots of opportunities. In fact, in the UK, they are looking for people to come and work in cybersecurity, software development, and other IT fields. There's a shortage to the point where companies are actually seeking out people. They have people that specialize in recruitment to go and hunt for people. And you see different companies competing for talents. You have one person. Recently with ATINGAUK, we had someone that is still a student. Even though he's still a student, he had 3 job offers from 3 different companies at the same time. That he had to just choose one and leave the rest. Another thing is that in terms of career progression and pay rise, tech is very interesting, because once you are in, it's only a matter of like your pay cannot stay in the same place it was, and it cannot reduce. It can only go up as long as you are doing your job well, you are playing your cards right. There's only like the only way is up. And there's also other things like flexible working, remote working. I work remotely, so sometimes I'm in Manchester. I come to Liverpool. It doesn't affect my work because I can just work from my laptop. So what are the most important skills? And this also applies to not just cybersecurity, but software development or any other IT career. The most important skill is actually the ability to learn and do research. Ability to pick up skills. That's the most important skill, because there is no like single person that knows everything in tech, or even within a subfield within tech. Within just cybersecurity, there's so many different domains. Nobody can know everything, but guess what? There are people that are working because they have the foundational knowledge, and they have the skill to be able to seek out information and to be able to pick up skills. Because it's always changing, new things are coming up, and if you're not keeping up, if you're not like keeping your skills up to date, you might get obsolete. So how do you get into cybersecurity? First of all, you need to have that interest, and you need to have the mindset that you can actually do it. Because people think that you need to be one kind of guru or you need to know everything, but it's just a matter of getting started. Start by learning the fundamentals. Let's say it's cybersecurity you want to go into, or you want to learn about IT. Learn the fundamentals of IT. How do computers work? How do they talk to each other? And practice. And you need to stay consistent. And it's not about doing 8 hours in one day, or like, trying to spend as much time as you can in one day. It's about that consistency. Even if it's 30 minutes, 1 hour you do in a day, just keep that consistency. Because guess what? If you do 12 hours in one day and you don't pick it up again until the next week, you've already forgotten all the things that you've that you've read or watched. And then stay up to date with new and exciting things in tech. We're talking about drones, we're talking about VR. Like these are the things that will keep you excited. Watch videos, look at the new things that are coming up, because that will keep the interest there. And it will help you stay gingered, because you need that ginger. Sometimes it's not easy, right? There are two camps of people. There are people that will sell you the idea that it's easy, it's fast money, which is false. And there are also the people that are trying to gatekeep, or trying to say, you can't do this, or trying to keep people out. We need more people. It's just, you need to have that consistency and don't lose focus. So thank you very much. Happy to take any questions.
How long would it take you to study for cybersecurity?
So for cybersecurity, again, it depends on how much time you put in. There are different courses. For a basic fundamentals in cybersecurity course, the course length might say 4 or 5 hours. Well, you won't sit down and do all the 5 hours at once. You might have a different pace. It's not by degree, it's not by going to school to study computer science. That helps a lot, but you don't have to go back and say you want to do a master's to say you want to do cybersecurity. There are people that are switching from, people that are lawyers that switch careers into cybersecurity because we need people with those skills doing different things. There are people that are very technical, that they do the technical things. So it's all a matter of bringing those skills together, focusing on your strengths, and seeing how you can then transition into the new field that you want to be in.
What type of resources is available online that a complete beginner can use?
Thank you very much. So that's a very good question, because if you go online and search now, there will be lots of different resources and you can get confused. So specifically, there is a free course that I think it's beginner friendly. It's called Professor Mesa, Cybersecurity Security Plus course. It's on YouTube. It's also on his website. I can share the links to anybody that is interested. There's also this website called Try Hack Me. That one is also interesting because it's practical. It allows you to practice all the things you're learning as you're browsing the courses, and they have a complete beginner learning path as well. So either one of those resources will be a good starting point.
So,
yeah, boss.
I have a question. Now, you made mention of starting on your own for cybersecurity and everything. These are just foundational learning. Do you do more like the deep cybersecurity training? And how do one get the experience, things you work with, and how do you get your hand dirty with it? Is one thing you have the foundation, is another thing you practice what you have learned so far, and you are able to defend yourself in an interview.
Yeah, that's another very good question. Again, so once you have the fundamental knowledge, there are online platforms like the Try Hack Me I mentioned. They have a complete beginner path, but they also have intermediate, advanced. So they have things that you can go deeper if you want. There are other platforms like Hack the Box where you can practice your skills. And at some point, you can also practice with on your own laptop, with your own devices at home. Obviously, I won't advise you to go and start hacking into things that you're not authorized to hack into. But your own router, if you are the owner, you can always try practice with things like that. So it's a matter of finding as many things as possible to practice with, and those online platforms I mentioned are a good starting point.
Can I still go ahead? So now is one thing that you may mention a few ones.
Yeah.
But is there an institute that can at least give you a guidance? Do you do something like that?
Okay, so what Sideblock does is there are lots of supports that we give people, but we have a virtual internship for people that already have the base set of skills that want to gain hands-on experience. You can apply to the Sideblock internship and gain hands-on experience. So we develop tasks based on real-world experience of people that have worked in the field. So even regardless of that, a very good way to gain experience is through internships. So they might be paid or unpaid. You can even go to different people that have businesses. Let's say they have a website. You can help them look at, okay, based on what you've learned, how do I secure my website? You can volunteer to organizations to help them make whatever they are doing more secure, whether it's their social media or so there are lots of ways you can gain that experience, and sometimes you might just have to volunteer and do some things for free to get it. Okay. Since there are no more questions, thank you for listening. I'm going to share my details with you.
Thank you very much, Alaja Aliu, Cybersecurity. Our next speaker is, I hope you guys gained a lot from there. And you can network after, collect his number, his LinkedIn, his social media handles, and all that. Our next speaker is the CEO T21 Service, the Odugu himself, Chief Tosin. Round of applause, please, as he comes from the mic.
Good evening, guys. Like he said, my name is Tosin Owonifari. I'm from Nigeria. Even though I have a British passport, but I'm still Nigerian. So, all right, guys. We're going to talk about tech in general, and we're going to go more deep into IT, and then I'm going to be touching on some of the points that my brother have said, cybersecurity and all of that. So, I got to this country years ago. I just want to tell you a bit of story that is going to inspire you. I was once a kitchen potter in this country. I was once a cleaner. I was once Caribbean. Police have chased me around. So where am I driving to? No matter what your situation is, you can change it around. It all depends on you. What do you want for your life? It's not a matter of, is tech actually hard? No. Like what he said, it's determination. So are you money driven? Are you vision driven? Depends on what is driving you. So even if you sleep and just wake up and say, you know what? Why did I even come into this country in the first place? Why am I here? What's my purpose? So did I want to continue do the same thing over and over again and get the same results? So if the answer is no, it means they have to be changed. So how do I start this change? How do I implement it? What are the resources that is available? And guess what, guys? We are in a country that the resources is all available. It depends on you. So I'm sorry to say, if you are in UK and you still fail, it means that you can go to any country and you will fail. Because UK is a country that is going to actually shape you and mold you. So you have bills to pay, you have families to feed, you have a vision, and you have an objective. So what is your mission? So you don't have any excuse. Today, you might be illegal immigrant or whatsoever, but tomorrow is going to change the situation. Then, are you prepared? So what's your mindset? Like what my brother said, they think IT is hard. What is even IT in the first place? Information technology. We are all IT gurus. Ask me how? We all use smartphone, right? We all have laptops. We all have tablets. So you are already into IT, but you don't know it. So we have different pathway to this what we call information technology. One of them is business analysis. So let's start from there. What is business analysis? Can anyone tell me, what do you understand by business analysis? A layman term.
Analyzing business.
Okay, thank you. Any other? What do you understand by business analysis?
Looking into a business idea or a business firm and looking at what successes or failures are there and how to improve it.
Thank you very much. Now you get the point. So, maybe even looking at one business, you can go to I believe all of you know Sanflex in Kensington, right? Maybe go there and say, you know what, Sanflex, I think your pepper soup is always cold. You already start analyzing the business. I think you can do this more better. I think you can actually, put more DJ on the night. You are bringing up the problem and you are giving the solution. You have already started analyzing that business. And in a nutshell, this is what is now digitalized and we now call it business analysis. By using some techniques and start to use some kind of tools, that is where you become a business analyst in the IT world. Nothing more, nothing less. A bit of technology, a bit of methodology, a bit of approach that it is IT related and equipment. So the problem now is how do I get involved? How do I start? So I'm still going to touch some other courses, right? So as a business analyst, if they want to actually employ you, you have to have some certain skills. Attention to details is very, very important. You're going to be writing a lot of documentation. You're going to be speaking to a lot of people because the business does not run on its own. So there's always a stakeholders, shareholders you have to speak with in order to gather information and to be able to actually analyze that problem, to know what the problem is and to then propose a solution to the problems. And guess what? Most of those solutions is not your idea. It's like me and you. I have an issue. I bring it to the table. We can discuss it here. I think this person is having this problem. What do you think? We brainstorm. What do you think is the solution? We speak about it. You're going to bring your own idea. He's going to bring his own idea. Everyone will bring his idea. Then we come together and say, I think this idea is going to work best. Then we go to implementation. So we're going to try and implement this idea. If it works, it becomes a methodology and approach that everyone can use next time. That's how it works. All right, let me leave business analysis. Now we go to data analysis because I can see someone was asking a question about data analysis. Sorry, before I go for T21 services, we actually provide IT trainings in different courses, ranging from business analysis, data analysis, software development, software testing, financial crime analysis, RTT validation, cyber security, and at least we have almost more than 11 or 12 courses that we offered in my company. Not only train, we also recruit. So we don't just train you, we recruit you as well. And we outsource, because a lot of, like what he said earlier, a lot of companies will come to us and say, you know what, I need 10 data analysts. I need 4, business analysts. I need 3 project managers. So if we don't have in-house, because my students, I call them in-house, because they are part of the company. So I make sure that I supply my students to my client first. So then if we don't have any in-house, then we outsource. So we now said, okay, we'll set your CV, let me see what you've done before and stuff like that. Okay, then again, apart from training and recruitment, we also build softwares and applications to automate businesses. Like example, Mr. Michael that I met here is one of my clients. He was true human, so he wants something built, and he come to us and said, okay, can you guys build this? And we said, yes, this is what we do. And he was like, oh, we don't know that Nigerians do all these things here. I was like, well, here we are, So let me go back again now to project management and data analysis. What is project? We all have a project. See that you want to start a degree is a project. You want to go to a college is a project. This thing that we are doing here, gathering, is a project. So now you have to have a strategy. Okay, how do I put these people together? What is the common goals? Then again, you now say, okay, what then breaks through our WBS? How do I break down these things? How is it going to move from point A to point B and everything links together as I want it to be? That is project management. You work with the BA and say, you know what, okay, this is what we are building. So then again, you do the documentation, how everything is going to flow. And then again, you have the mitigation process in place. So if there's any issue, how do I mitigate this? We all do it in our daily life. But it's because all those big grammars, don't let us be confused with all these big grammars they are calling. You see some of the developers, they will try to tell you something Python, something Java, something this, something that. There's nothing there. Nothing. It's just a word to skills. It's like if you go to doctor, you start to speak some language that you don't understand, call it some names. My brother, if they tell you the meaning of those words, it's not, you just said, is this what you are trying to tell me since that you are speaking in all this German language? You understand? It's the same thing that apply in the IT words. What is data analysis? Data is just analyzing the data to predict, using the errors of the past to be able to project what can happen in the future. It's like a business that is losing already. So then they gather all the activities that those business has done in the past, using the data to forecast why am I, lacking here? How can we improve it? That's all. That's all. Then let me buttress my brother's point. Cyber security. We all do it, but we don't know. What is cyber? What is security? As long as you are using your phone to connect to the internet, you are surfing the internet. So it means that they can attack you. On cyber. So how do you even say, oh, this is cyber security? So you are looking for vulnerability, either on website or on your phone. Your job. So when he was saying about basic, I think what he means by basic is, okay, let's assume you want to apply for a job. This is what I do. When I was still starting this career, like 10 years ago, I started as a software tester. And as a software tester, we are very close to the cyber security guys. So but what we do is we check if that application that has been built is actually fit for purpose. So we start to look for vulnerabilities. Does it match? And in software testing, a lot of people will be, what is software testing? All this language, nothing there at all. I believe we all have email, right? Okay. And you have where you put your username and password. Right? So, a software tester, typical software tester, all what you are checking is to make sure that that's your username. When you put your username, does it take it? Because there will be a predefined things to say when you put alphanumeric. And don't be Don't get it wrong again. When they say alphanumeric, it simply means it can take number and alphabet. But when you go to software tester, I start to say alphanumeric and all these things. It's just using to confuse you. Nothing there. Nothing. It's just saying that if I put alphabet and numbers, will it take it? So if they've sent you the requirement document and said that this thing that we've built, if we put number and alphabet, it should take it. So you now try it, what they said they, so you now try it and test it and say, okay, is it actually taking that thing, alpha, number, and numeric? So if it's not, it means he has failed. You have become a software tester. Sometimes you put the username, you don't put password, you click login. Does it log in? If the requirement document said when they put username and password, you should log in, but when they put username alone and there's no password, you should not log in. You start to test. This. Well, okay, let me even use a simpler one. When you buy a TV, what is the first thing that you do when you get it? You have to start testing because you plug it. Immediately you switch that thing on, does it on? You are testing the device. You have become a software tester. So now what we are doing now, we are taking it from appliance. We are now applying it to something that is on this internet. Can you see how simple all this thing is? But they make it look very hard. And that is why our people are very confused. They don't know what to do, they don't know where to go to, and stuff like that. Then again, we have another course we call financial crime analysis. And all these courses that I'm telling you, there's none of them you can earn nothing less than £250 a day as a contractor. And like he said, during the COVID, I had more than 5 jobs. I'm working with 3 American companies and I'm working with 2 UK companies. And on my job, each of my job I finished within 2 hours. Each of them. And I was meant to spend 8 hours in there. And nobody monitored me. I'm my own boss. I do whatever I want. As long as the job you give to me, I deliver it. You don't come to me. That's it. Unless if we have meeting that I have to attend. So this thing gives you flexibility. You have time for your family. You have more money. Whatever you want. You can't be anything under 400 pounds a day on one job. That multiply by 2 or 3. Come on, guys. We are making like 1,000 to every single day. Monday to Friday. That's like 6K or 7K. Now you go wrong. Because you know go want me tax man collect too much. You understand? So you are saying that within a month you can make 30K. Then if you are smart, you can make 30K. Then you are calculated by year, and now you are thinking about, okay, that business that I have vision to do for a long time, how do I get involved? So even though if you take loan from bank, you don't need at the initial stage. You'll have done a lot of things. With the money that you've earned for over 2 or 3 years, you can start something. And the beauty of the experience of IT is this. The more you get involved, the more you have ideas. I always say to people, find your passion. Money is a competition. Because when you find your passion, you will never be tired of it. Because you will love what you are doing. Let it give you joy. And from there, money will come in. And you will enjoy life. You enjoy life, you enjoy your money. And that is the main reason why we are this state. So you shouldn't compromise one for one. So find your passion first. Find which of this one is even related to me. Am I an investigator? So you do a SWOT analysis on yourself or Gallup test. Know your strength. You know your weakness. Did I like to investigate things? If yes, okay. Where did I even fit in this IT of a thing? Am I a documentation person? Did I like to document? Did I like to talk? So if you talk, you might say, oh, I want to do Scrum Master. So Scrum Master do most of the meeting, put all the teams together. Okay, I don't like to talk. I like to lay back. Why not be a web developer? Why not be a financial crime analyst that I don't need to talk to anybody? We have another one, the most simplest things that you can use to get into the IT is called RTT validation. I also offer that training too, and I can tell you, we are the only organization in the UK that offer that training to individuals. We are 3 people that offer that training in the whole United Kingdom. The 2 organizations that are remaining, they are offering it to NHS direct to their staff. So I'm the only one that offer it to individuals because it requires one specific application, and the application is very expensive. When I mean expensive, it's expensive to get. Because all these things that I'm telling you, like the question that my brother asked earlier, it's good to be speaking all this grammar. If you don't practicalize it, you will not know it. we can teach you the theory and go. He used a word, he said, get your hands dirty, right? That's the word you use. So, and then again, you know this kind of country that we have. They don't care about your certificate. It's your work experience, not your CV. What have you done before with it? What have you done? So that's the whole bottom line. So if anybody is offering you training and the practical, and you don't have the real life work experience, it's not complete. You don't know anything yet. Because you will run into trouble. In our day-to-day, even things that we are doing constantly, sometimes you get stuck. But they said experience is the best teacher. So the more you do it, the more experience you have. So what I'm saying is, the question that you asked earlier was valid. So in my company, we offer this training, the theory, the practical, and the life project. Because the life project is not what is going to go on your CV as your work experience. And we also give you reference because it's work that you've done. Like I said, we are 3 in 1. So we make sure that we cut across the whole IT industry. Training, recruitment, and we build softwares and applications. So when, like Mike has given me some jobs now, he's paying my company, right? So the job that he gave me involved a business analyst, involved project managers, involved software testers, involved web developers. That is 3 courses, 4 courses. So every student that I have on those courses, I will put them into that project. And their tutor will be the one to mentor them. And no, you are doing wrong, this is the way to do it. And it's a life project because it's paying for that application. By the time we deliver the application, if I'm not saying this today now, you will not know that my student has worked on it. All what is happening is the tutor is there and the professionals are there to make sure that, okay, before we deliver these products to him, it's top notch and it's up to date and it's fit for purpose of what he wants. So that is them getting their experience. And another one that you can use is the apprenticeship. But let's be realistic, let's be honest. No bias and no discrimination. I've went online and tried to learn. I studied in India. Even though I studied in India for years, when some of these Indian people are actually teaching me anything I can't understand, I'd rather go to a Nigerian man. I'll get what you talk, explain, break it down in a way that I understand. This way when I talk, how you be? Explain to me in my mother tongue. See, this is the thing I always said about learning. Our grandmothers could have been a medical doctor. I was speaking to Dr. Tom when we were in Nigeria this December. I was saying, you know what? Language barrier is one of the problems. It's not as if maybe we don't know all these things. But because they are not using our language, and we think it's hard. My grandmother would have been a medical doctor with what I'm saying. Because, like I was saying, the RTT validation is working for the NHS. As a contractor, you earn nothing less than, let's say, 150 to 180 pounds a day. Right? And what do we do there? It's just like a compliance. What is compliance? It's to check medical letters, notes, and check codes. Okay, right. Let's do some exercise. Right. When you see a green button, guys, when you are driving, when you see a green light, what does it mean? Go. When you see yellow, what does it mean? When you see red, what does it mean? Stop. That is exactly the same systems that they use in validation. It's more deeper, but I'm just giving you, the background check. So it means that when they want to, okay, we all have GP, right? Okay. So when you go to your GP, you complain that something, you have some pain in your leg, right? And the doctor said, you know what, this is bigger than paracetamol, because it's a general practitioner, that's what they are. They don't know too much. They just know the little. So they will now send you to a consultant-led service. So consultant-led service is kind of person that actually specialize on that kind of your legs. What is wrong with you? So once they refer you, so NHS have a system. You see, this is the back end of how NHS works. They have a system that once they refer you from the GP, they have to see you. There's a rules that said any patient that has been referred must be seen. Not only seen, must have their first treatment within 18 weeks. Within 18 weeks. But reverse is the case. So that is why you come here as a compliance. They are not seeing them, there's a lot of queue. If you call your GP today now, they might say, oh, there's no available slots. You call your hospital, you say something is wrong, they will say, oh, they won't see you until 3 weeks or something like that. It is because of the compliance. Some people are not doing their jobs. So it is people like myself and people that will train that will go there and say, you know what, how do we mitigate these issues? How is it going to happen? It's because some people that are supposed not to be on the list is on there. Some people that have been treated, they're supposed to be at discharge. And some people that have not even treated, they've discharged them. And if anything happened to them, they have the right to take them to court and get whatever. But in order to avoid that, they bring people like me and you into the system and say, okay, right, you have experience in RTT validation. Right? Yeah. So RTT validation means referrals to treatment. So all what you are doing is checking. You cannot read. You read the medical notes. Hello, Mr. So we'll see you today. We'll give you paracetamol, Palladium, and a goosey soup. Should settle the problem. Bye-bye. But they put it on that letter. But they have a system. We call it PASS system. PASS system. Patient Administrator System. This is where the whole thing happened. Not that letter. So when they say a patient has been treated, the code that's supposed to be used supposed to be code 30. But you'll be amazed that they put code 10. And code 10 simply means we have not seen this patient at all. And that patient has been treated. So it's not now the list will continue to increase instead of decrease. So the people that actually need the treatments will not come to that list. Can you see? Some people will be lost to follow up. You see that someone has seen you for and is supposed to see you, no follow up. These are the jobs, so that's it. You just raise the red flag. Validation and verification. You make your comments, you said this patient has been seen here, no follow up. You move on and you get your 180. Is that a hard job? It's not a hard job. It's because we don't have the information. And are you willing? Are you ready? So to get into the IT is easy. There's a lot of resources there. There's platforms like myself and other people that are trained. We get paid for what we train, but we make sure that we give you mentorship. Another thing that is very important is the mentorship of the team. You can do the training and all, and you might slip off. I forget about it. Your mentor will wake you. You need someone to start pushing you and say you can get it right. So with all these things that we have, I believe that the Nigeria Association in Liverpool, in the UK, we can get it right. We can change that narrative of them looking at us, carrying our green passport and say, you know what, this Nigerian, they are all scammers. We can actually tell them, you know what, we are the one that is making things happen. It all depends on us, on how we want to go about this. Thank you very much. Any question, guys?
I hope you come with your complimentary card.
Yes, sir. Any question, guys? Are we tired? You asked that my guy questions. Now, why is everybody quiet now when I'm saying that's the questions? It's me now, like Brother Shaggy. It's me question. All right, go on, sir.
It's because you've already said everything. No more questions.
All right, thank you very much. All right, guys, I think we should.
No, somebody wants to ask.
All right, go on, sir.
Yeah, so I just want to ask, so what ways can one get into the like mentorship programs or get job opportunities with your company?
All right. My company, the mentorship service that we offer at the moment are for the paid students. However, I'm running some services not in UK, but to empower people in Nigeria. So what I do is, at the moment, I'm experimenting with my state. I go to each local government, I take 5 people. And we have 16 local governments. So the aim of this is to train them. After training them, then source job for them from UK, America, and Canada with all my contacts. Getting them nothing less than $2,000 or $3,000 every single month, right? Without leaving their rooms, without leaving the comfort of their states. And after that, we'll duplicate that into another states. But in UK, I just believe that the people that can get to UK already, if you can buy your flight tickets, might as well, you can afford the cost. So we offer that mentorship services to our students only for now. And for the jobs, there's a lot of jobs out there. Trust me. It's a matter of shoot your shot. If you, now I've known you met me. Now assuming that you go and submit, I don't know your background, maybe you have some kind of experience before. You applied and you call me and say, I've applied for these people. They send me interview, what do I do? If you call me, I will just, okay, what is it? Software testing or what? So if you bring the job description, send it to me. I will just send it to one of my tutors that are in that department, or one of the students that have traveled that route that is now working. I'll say, go and work with him. So if we have a 1 hour session with you, you know what? Okay, let's talk about interview. You see, the mistake we always make is, you see interview, once they send the questions to you or the job description, everything that they will ask you is already there. It's just because you don't know how to break it down. It's like when you are writing an exam, when we're in school, they will say, oh, we are brilliant. No, we are not brilliant. It's not because we are brilliant. It's because we know how to break those questions down. That is the first thing you need to know. When you go to an exam hall, first read the question, read it again, break it down. What are they asking? What they might even asking you might actually even be in that question. It's not left for you to break it down. The same thing as the same jobs in this country. They will say, okay, let's assume you are applying for a job of automation tester. They said, oh, someone that knows how to use Selenium. Because you already put Selenium on your CV. So what is Selenium? You see, they already give you a hint. What you need to do, go and check what is Selenium. How does it work? Is there any other things apart from Selenium? Because you can actually change the interviewer. Someone that is asking you what is Selenium, you can change it from Selenium. I said, oh, Selenium is this, is that. We have other things, other tools that work more than Selenium. Selenium can do this, but these tools can do better. That person will stop that question because he knows you know better. He asks you for one, you tell him two. And most of the interviewers, because I'm a recruiter, so I can tell you this secret. Most of the people that is interviewed does not know jack shit about what they're asking. They are just recruiter. So the willingness and the passion. And when you have an interview, guys, always visit the website of that company itself. Familiarize yourself with it. Even the person that is asking you a question, the interviewer before, hello, Mr. So, oh, you had this department for 5 years. So now you are interested in him. Now you'll be happy. Well, you won't like all this kind of things. So you'll be sad to happy. Oh, you know me that well. I've done some interview in Canary Wharf before. And it's supposed to be interview, we change it to football match. So it depends on how confident you are. Even though if you fail that interview, brother, it's not a failure. It's a learning curve. You've learned one or two things from that interview. And when you go to interview, guys, try and take your pen. It's allowed in this country. They will ask you questions. Excuse me, can I write it down? You are doing yourself a favor. Go back home, go and research on it. I can tell you by the time you do 2 or 3 interviews and you write all those questions, the 4th interview, nothing will pass those questions. Nothing. It now depends on you, on how you want to move the field. So for the mentorship, sir, and for the, the jobs, if you still call us, we will still give you help. Any other question, guys?
You talked about an experiment you are doing with your local government.
Yes, sir.
What local government?
I'm from Ekiti State.
Yes. We talked about the local government. Have you been to FLI?
FLI, yes, I have been.
I will call you.
Yeah, no problem, sir. We're actually working. I don't just go to the local government. So I work with the youth leader, the youth general leader from Abuja. Then they centralize it in all Nigerians. So I work with them. They are the people that is going to go and actually bring these people because they know them better. And there's some kind of competition that they will have to do. I'm not a politician, so I make sure I go through rigorous, kind of selections. We need the people that actually need this, not because say one politician became. No, I need someone that is out there that need helps. It's not because I don't have the money, but what I think is we can actually, with the little that we are getting, we can give back to the society. If I do my own, Michael might say, is happy with what I'm doing and go and do the same thing in his state. Uma might decide to say, okay, that's the way you do what I see here. Okay, me too, I'm going to sponsor 100 people. That's how we start to develop ourselves without waiting for the government. The government will do their own, we will do our own. Any other question, guys?
Any other questions?
It's like we're busy eating.
Okay, all right, guys. I'll let you enjoy your food while I join you too. Now, no free chop, I won't make one. I need my own. Any other question? All right, thank you very much, guys.
Another round of applause for our speakers. I know that our hands are busy here. So today we had a career talk. Our next session, we are going to discuss about various visa routes, sponsorship routes, global talents,
EU,
business routes, EU, just different routes you can stay to use to settle in the UK. I know that's a lot of our goals here. And we're going to have other speakers as well that can tell you, okay, this business you can do in the UK with little capital if you want to like use it to shock your salary. Thank you very much for coming.